Clarice.
And welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast. In this episode, what are we talking about, Clint?
You know, we travel all the time. We love travel all the time. And you know that we take thieves with us everywhere we go?
What? Huh?
Yeah, that's right. Little things that rob us of our fuel efficiency and our gas mileage.
Oh.
I mean, every little thing does it, and it hurts us at the pump and in our wallets.
Ouch.
Oy.
Let's just keep making sound effects.
Oof.
But can we also talk about our camping trip? Because Lindsay and I went camping last weekend, and I got to take out my new trailer for the first time.
Ooh, we need to hear about your shakedown run.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Well, before we dive into all of that goodness, our show sponsor for this week is, once again, Truck Camper Magazine. If you are a truck camper enthusiast, or if you're just starting to scratch that itch, you need information. They have it. They live the lifestyle. And if you're that beginner, they have a section perfect for you, for your research, for your learning. If you are seasoned, then they have user stories, listener stories, I don't know what you call them. They tell stories. They have people send in stories of their travels, their adventures, their modifications, every new thing coming out in the market. It's the place for truck campers. That's truckcampermagazine.com.
You can also find them on Facebook under Truck Camper Magazine.
So check them out. Check out the latest. Get started if that's your thing. If you don't know anything about truck campers, just go there because the rabbit trails are fun.
There are some really cool adventures that they post. Mm-hmm. And I am always impressed at, gosh, where are people going, what they're doing. It is just more camping adventures that you get to be a part of. Really fun. Right.
So truckcampermagazine.com and Truck Camper Magazine on Facebook. Go and check them out. Again, welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people and places that go along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Clint.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm PJ, and we thank you so much for joining us today.
Let's jump into this week's episode.
I tried to pull off a Lindsay, and it just wasn't as good.
Yeah, but the fingers were good.
You gotta be Lindsay.
Yeah, I have to add stuff, accoutrements.
And I'll just sit here and laugh. That is really my role. Correct?
Have y'all seen that guy from Spaceballs and I guess Airplane and all that does all the sound effects?
Yes.
And he does like a cover of Led Zeppelin songs, and he like does all the instruments except for the acoustic guitar.
Stop it. We're going to YouTube this as soon as we're done filming.
Yeah.
Oh, can we put a link in the show notes?
Oh, sure. Sure.
It's related
a
to
useless
camping.
Link in the show notes, but hey,
people love useless
it
links.
It's related to our little songs that we make.
Crazy brains.
Okay.
Rabbit trails.
Okay, all that aside for now, because we'll come back to some weirdness. All that aside, you two just returned from a 3-day camping trip? It was a 3-hour tour?
It seemed like...
it was 3 nights, 4 days, 3 nights.
Wow.
I know, it was wonderful.
2 of those days are like half days.
Basics out of the way. Where'd you go? Who went?
We went to Inks Lake. I took my 2 kids and my senior dog, which is a whole story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The kids actually rode with PJ with my parents because they have the nice truck. So it was kind of cool.
We have the bigger back seat. That's really why.
Take a tiny mini road trip with just me and my dog pulling a trailer. I felt very, I don't know.
Free?
Yeah.
Relieved?
Like literally the only thing I can think of, I was trying to think of somebody who like travels solo with a dog, and the only person I could think of is Amy Bell, who I love, but she's not famous and nobody, she comes to our rallies and she travels with her dog. And I was like, I felt like Amy Bell.
Nice. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, but like you said, your dog is a whole nother story because he is so old. He doesn't know where he is. He's not comfortable driving. He's not comfortable sitting.
Right.
He is only comfortable when he is asleep, which is most of the time.
Yes, except for when he's somewhere where he doesn't know where he is.
So
and then
he can't get to sleep.
Instead of sleeping, he just does a lot of throwing up and other things.
Poor thing.
Oh, it was just so
he just
hard.
gets nervous.
Yes.
So I think the biggest challenge with him was his hips don't work.
They don't lie.
I knew you were going to. I'm waiting for it. He can't get in and out of the trailer or the truck, so I have to pick him up. This dog is what, like 60 pounds?
Yeah.
He's on the large side
Yeah.
of a medium size category, I think.
He's heavy.
He's dense.
I mean, he's
fatty, fat. But anyway, so I pick him up in and out of the trailer, but occasionally, you know, if he's in the trailer and he wants out faster than I can get out in front of him and then turn around and pick him up.
So he thinks, I'll give this a go.
So you know those holes.
And he's deaf.
Oh yeah, he's
And he
deaf.
can't see
He's
very
almost
well.
blind. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we learned is that maybe he's not a good camping dog anymore.
No, but you know, it's been years since I've taken him, so I thought maybe he would just lay there, but he just got really nervous.
Yeah.
His if he tried to get out of the trailer by himself, his claws got stuck in those circles on the step.
Right.
Which is exactly why people put those little rug things, step covers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, ripped off one of his claws.
Oh.
Another time he fell out of your Terra Oasis.
Yeah, you
and
open
landed
the door
on his
and
back.
turn around to shut the door, and he is already like pushing past you, getting out, and
because he's so nervous, he's so scared to do it. It was madness. Plus, like the two kids just wanting to do all the things and go in and out of the trailers. So those were a couple of frustrations of mine.
And I think, in all fairness, I think we were more nervous for him. I mean, he wasn't hurt. When he calmed down and slept, he was fine. But we were more nervous about him all the time.
So you think that kind of became a thing where the two of you were feeding off of each other?
We were just panicked about how Danzig is and where he is all the time.
I don't know about that, because when he wasn't within like touching distance of us, he was barking outside constantly.
But he was barking at nothing.
Right, because he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I think he was
seeing
also
things you weren't seeing.
Yeah, and he would hear things that he couldn't. Maybe he couldn't be hearing things.
No, he really can't hear anything.
He really is deaf. So anyway,
it's just crazy. And then Simone would want to like hold his leash, and then like she'd come by 10 minutes later and be like, Danzig is over there, and he'd be like 5 campsites down in somebody else's trash, and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And it was just,
well, your kids never walk the dog, so they don't know how.
My dog doesn't walk.
Right.
Okay, so dog is not going camping again. We're gonna find a dog sitter. It's just too much.
Better for the dog.
The kids did good. They did as good as a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old can do.
Yeah.
We tried out our new ice cream ball that we talked about in the gift guide
for
Christmas.
Was that an interesting project? We did it twice.
We did it twice, and both times, I mean, my daughter's dairy free, so we had to like mess with the recipe a little bit, which messed with how it froze.
Right.
So what we did do is video all of that. So I'm going to be putting out like a little like ice cream ball campsite video on that. So
one thing we learned is that it was a fun adventure in the beginning, and it was something to talk about and look forward to. In the end, they weren't so excited about the ice cream. It's like, okay, that's done. Because all we could get out of it most of the time, because it froze solid, was a few little scoops. They'd eat that, and then they were on to play with the next thing.
Is it because of the changes in the recipe, or is it because they lose interest in ice cream in general?
I think the recipes weren't very good.
Okay.
It wasn't delicious ice cream.
Yeah.
Simone ate it. That girl will eat anything.
The second one was green.
And the second one was made with avocados. So naturally, which Simone still ate, by the way.
Yeah, Simone will eat anything.
But also that ball with all the stuff in it gets really heavy. So after like 5 minutes of rolling it around, they're kind of done. But ice cream isn't made in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they'll get there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to do a whole video on that. It was fun and entertaining.
But we did a few fun things.
I was about to say, on to the good stuff.
Yeah.
There was so much good stuff.
We did some hiking, and they were good hikers, and just wandering around the hill country. I forgot how beautiful it is, even in the winter, just to be hiking through all of these rocks.
There's so many rocks.
Up to the canyon and the cliff edges.
They're huge.
Little bitty caves, and, talking about cactus and
bats
and animal poop on the ground.
We talked about a lot of
trail
animal
markers.
Poop,
I mean,
Simone called it strawberry jelly. Because like they eat the berries, and then it
Oh, y'all
So
ran
it
across
looks
some
like
raccoons.
berries. Yeah.
Raccoon poop everywhere.
Strawberry jelly. Don't eat it, girl.
Don't touch.
We went to Longhorn Caverns, which was, I guess
The
I'm
history.
easily impressed, but it blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And going into that cave, and every time you turn, it looked different. There was a different type of rock. It was formed differently. First, there's crystals, and then it looks like crazy smooth rocks, and then it opens up to a big room where they had dances.
Yes. Yeah. Dances
I
way back
was
in the day. And
amazed.
they had a radio program from down there.
It's so
From
cool.
down in the cave. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Because I know they had the dances.
Yeah. They would broadcast the music.
And they did that because they wanted to compete with Carlsbad, who was getting all the good press.
So they made this dance floor in this cave. And I mean, when you're standing in there, you're thinking like, what? They had tables and chairs set up. They even like made a separate entrance so they could bring food down.
That's right. Or like a
just-
dummy
yeah.
waiter. thing.
Thinking
Yep.
like, oh my gosh, we're not even allowed to touch the walls. They were
Right.
They were dancing. Can you imagine
I
what
know,
all
like,
of the drunk dancers were doing
we
in
were
the 40s
not
and
so
30s?
smart. We might have ruined some things. But anyway, that was just so cool. I had bats like inches from my face, and they're just so cute. I wanted to put it in my pocket.
And
Yeah,
like,
they're not really so cute. But
yeah,
you
I
do
want to
wanna
put it in my
pet 'em.
pocket.
but she can have her own definition of cute. Remember,
Yeah, I
she used to
can.
walk around
And
with a
it's-
snake in her hair.
It's
That's
true.
true. Okay,
He was
you got
adorable.
Me. You got me.
Anyway, that was really, really, really fun. I really enjoyed that. I want to go back. Longhorn Caverns, if y'all have never been.
Yeah, I could totally do it
Very
again.
cool. And it's a
Highly
whole
recommended.
park. And you have to pay to do the tour. But if you want to just go to the park, they have a lot of hiking trails and cool stuff you can do. And that's completely free. There's no
Yeah.
park fee to get in.
And it's
So-
unique because it's owned in a way managed by Texas Parks and Wildlife, but I think that place is completely staffed by volunteers. Like, I think that particular, the Longhorn Caverns, is staffed by volunteers.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't ask that. But it was interesting.
I did
They were
ask-
super busy.
Yeah, I did ask the tour guide if once all of the people are gone, all the tour guides go down there and play hide and seek in the caves.
What was the answer?
She said no.
Missed opportunity.
She said sometimes they go down there for extractions, but only for extractions and tours.
Extractions of people?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Who
that's
can't
what we
make
said.
it through.
What?
Who can't make it through the tour? There's this one part where you have to crouch down and walk.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
don't like
like
that part.
4 feet tall.
back-
Oh my god! I didn't even think about how
My back
tall you are. I
is
bet
not
that was
like that.
yeah.
And it was about 4 feet tall
Yeah.
for maybe a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a long time.
I like to think my yoga played a part in how easy that was for me, but it was probably just that I'm short.
The last time I liked that was when my grandma took me on a summer, when I was with my grandparents for a week in the summer, way back in the day. I was probably 10.
And you still had to crouch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you took a big kid too.
Yes, I did. I took my husband, who is a big kid. And he is so good with Hawk. Him and Hawk, they could
buddies.
They're
have
besties.
fun.
Yep.
They can play. They can laugh. They're just belly laughing, having a great time. And so it was super fun. And it was our new trailer. So, I mean, how cool is that?
Okay, so this was a shakedown run of your
My new Terra Oasis.
right.
So
What'd you learn?
I learned that everybody worries about the outside. And the outside, I mean, while yes, I know how to do it, so that's why it maybe wasn't hard for me. But really, it took us, maybe if you counted looking at it and thinking about it, 15 minutes to set it up.
Right.
It was super easy. The ground was flat, hooked up, turned everything on, put the jacks down. Super easy. All right. The problem for me throughout the week was the inside, because
Using
when
the
you first
space.
get a trailer, what do? You just put things in there.
Right.
I guess I am not the homemaker that maybe some people are. So I didn't have everything in the right space. And my husband likes to take everything plus the kitchen sink, and he likes to cover every horizontal space, including drawers and cabinets, and everything just got set in there.
What do you do? Bring all his Legos and
I don't know what to
Transformers?
tell you, but
There wasn't that much
one
stuff.
entire
It was all
well, oddly
normal
enough,
stuff.
when it is a walk around bed, but when you had to walk past the end of the bed, we didn't use any cabinets, 0.
There's
in the
so
bedroom.
much storage in that trailer.
That has been the conversation.
I've been in that trailer, but as we're, actively camping in it and my kids are in the bedroom playing
and getting locked in.
Well, that's,
by the way.
God.
Good times.
I mean, I every time I went in there, I was like, what would you possibly keep in that cabinet, in that cabinet, in that cabinet? I mean, they were just empty cabinets because there's
but that
so
was
much
the big talk online for this Oasis is there enough bedroom storage? And
the bathroom.
Absolutely, yes. Great storage
There's
in the
insane amount of storage in the bathroom.
And wingspan. So the thing I love about that is, and I've been in it, obviously we did the video, so I had to get into the video. I'm 6'4". I have no question about headroom or wingspan or shoulder span or knee span.
Oh, you mean like reaching across and like...
I have enough space to be comfortable in the shower side or the bathroom side, lavatory side.
Yeah, it was great. I just have to figure out where everything goes because there was I think it's in this drawer or maybe that drawer or maybe down underneath or is it over there? And everything turned into a giant junk drawer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy, but plenty of space. I was really a hair worried about that, but no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tell the story of the kids getting locked in the bedroom.
Yes, please.
Because in my mind, this scenario lasted like 45 minutes.
I bet it was
And
3.
it was maybe 7. Maybe 7. Okay, so...
queso.
Steve... queso? And we had chips.
Cheesy.
Steve sends me a text or a voicemail or something and says, by the way, be careful because that latch will fall down and lock when you close the bedroom door.
How soon?
If you
from
don't
the
have it up in the
text
right
to the
place.
event?
Within an hour.
Yes.
That's insane.
Within
because
an hour.
it wasn't when we first got there.
Yes.
It was on day 2 or 3.
Yeah. But everybody was kind of getting comfortable with each other's spaces.
Right.
Kids were playing, and Richard's like, why'd you let him go in there? I'm like, geez Louise, it's 3 steps from me. So
It's 3 steps from me.
How do you get, come on.
And they loved playing in that bedroom. I don't know. That was like the place to play.
Because it was a little
House.
their own little space.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a fort.
So we're all worried that it's the latch that's fallen down, right? So we spend all this time telling them, pull the latch up,
And Hawk's back there. I'm trying. I'm doing it.
It's not working. It's not working.
I think we're stuck
he's
in
fine.
here.
And
like,
Lindsay's
you're
like,
stuck.
and so we all start to get a little panicky. Lindsay's like, okay, well, he knows how to open the escape
He
hatch
opens
window.
the fire escape window in our trailer
Yeah,
all the time,
I've
and
seen
it
him do
drives
it.
me nuts. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just have him do that. I'll crawl through the window. So I get a patio chair, take it to the outside so I can stand on it. Turns out their fire escape window is different than ours. They have the handles that pull towards you, and they're really hard to pull, especially when they're new.
Yeah.
So he's just yanking on it with both hands. I can't do it. I was like, okay, go back to the door. Go back to the door.
So finally, I get my face down on the floor, put my hand underneath, and I realize the latch is up.
So it's just the door lock.
So the
Door's like off its track.
Yeah, the door had come off the track and just pulled forward a little bit, so it couldn't.
It just wasn't rolling.
It couldn't roll backwards
Okay.
because the track was hitting the edge of the door.
Okay. So
Basically.
So how did you fix that? Just lift up and kind of.
So I just pushed the door back in the space where it's supposed to be on the track and gave it a push and opened right up. And it was like all this panic. All this
And
panic.
it wasn't, but I think my favorite part was when I was like peering into the window trying to get Hawk to unlock the emergency
So
door.
crazy.
And Simone crawls on the bed and
looks
presses her
straight at
face
you.
against the window. And she goes, I have to potty. I'm like, oh no, we have got to hurry this up. Because when Simone says she's got to go potty,
It's time.
she means right now.
Oh,
Imminent danger.
I was like, oh, Richard is going to kill me.
I know, just like,
If she pees on the bed, I am going to be so upset.
So did you console yourself in a nice bowl full of avocado ice cream after that?
I think it was Miller time, actually. But it actually was quite hilarious when we were done. But in the middle, we were all like, oh my God.
and Danzig is outside just barking because nobody's paying attention to him.
So we're going to have to roll on from this, but is there another camping trip on the schedule now?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going camping Valentine's Day. It's like a
2 weeks.
Yeah, a 4-day camping trip. And I looked at the calendar. It's like Valentine's Day. And then that Monday is some kind of holiday. And then it's Fat Tuesday. and then we're leaving on Wednesday, which is
Wow.
We're just going to holiday
Ash
it up,
Wednesday
aren't
or something. I don't know. Like all 4 days have something on my calendar as like a holiday. So it should be really fun. We're going to go check out some dinosaur.
Oh, you're going up Dallas direction.
we? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to the dinosaur
Fully
park.
there, but
Yes.
yeah, that way from here.
So Hawk is stoked about that.
Yes.
We're leaving the dog at home. So maybe it'll be a little bit more
He'll
chill.
be happier.
We've
be
learned
happier.
some things.
Okay.
Yeah, I will try to have one less junk drawer. And Richard is so excited. That's the best part.
Yes.
Who knew?
Yeah.
I have this whole new person I'm married to now because he is so excited about all the things that we can do.
Yes.
Cool.
So
that's
anyway,
exciting for me
it
because
is.
just seeing someone dive in with so much energy. I saw that when y'all were about to leave. I mean,
Yeah.
he was almost
so
shaking.
excited.
He was pumped.
Almost shaking. I was so excited to see that.
Clint, what did I tell you? I told you we would have enough to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going.
It is Lindsay and PJ. We can talk about anything. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's see if we can move on to the thieves that rob us of our fuel efficiency when we travel. Because, like I said in the opening, every little thing that we don't even think of actually adds up. Not a single one of those things matters that much on its own, but everything's in play all the time. So let's talk
This
about
sounds so serious. Though.
I know. Well, okay. So
This
my thing
sounds
is
so
like,
serious.
this just gives me anxiety because I thought I was good, but now I feel like we don't want people to overthink like every tiny thing.
Right. And you're not going to be able to overthink every tiny thing, but maybe this just helps you understand what's happening. That's enough for me. Just understanding. I oftentimes will go, I just want to understand. I get it now. And I'm still taking all my kids' toys because it makes
It makes my life better.
I get it, and I'm still doing it.
because I can make my peace with it. If I understand
Yeah.
it, it's easier to make peace with it.
Okay, that
I
makes sense.
think understanding is a good thing. Oops, sorry. Further my
So let's flip my paper over because that's where my notes are. All right. So things like things that got me into this when I was shopping for my truck and when I was last pulling my trailer, I was thinking about the big things that we're aware of.
how much it weighs.
How much
right?
it weighs and how much drag it causes. Like I'm pulling a pretty boxy trailer through the air.
So a stealthy trailer
Yeah.
that's lighter weight would
Yeah.
be the obvious thing I would think of.
Well, there's a reason why all these really cool sports cars are so pointy and streamlined and low to the ground.
yeah, but they're doing that for just a minuscule amount of
Yeah.
gain.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Every minuscule amount of gain in one area adds up with the other minuscule amounts. So let's talk about the weights first.
Okay.
Weights matter. I found out while doing research on the last vehicle that when they talk about your vehicle, whatever it is, passenger car or truck, that they do that weight GVWR thing with one adult period in there weighing 150 pounds. There are a lot of us dudes that don't weigh 150 pounds. So anything over 150 pounds takes from your capacity.
or additional humans,
Yeah.
kids, pets. So are you saying my weight loss journey could lead to better towing?
I mean, technically, yes.
All right.
Technically.
Yeah. Could get a little better gas mileage.
So human cargo.
There's other things, but I would think you never mind.
Okay. So human cargo, pets, and all their accoutrements.
Okay.
And the deal with that is largely it's when you're accelerating, starting an object at rest to moving
Yeah, that
at
makes
highway
sense.
speeds. The more mass you got to get going,
I remember that from high school.
and that's where you have the most inefficient time in driving. Is
Well, you know, when you're-
accelerating.
When you're driving and you're watching your miles per gallon,
Yeah,
if you
that
have a
little
car that
gauge.
just
Yeah.
goes up and down, man, you pull away from a stop sign, even if
It's
you
like
are dead
3.
empty, not doing a thing.
It
goes
tanks. Yeah.
And then there you are. So if you're towing a trailer, it's going to be more extreme.
Right. So there's weights, luggage, anything else. I bother my stepdad about this, because he would travel with his coffee cup, his 62 ounce, super slurp, whatever that is, and his big bag of David sunflower seeds and his spit cut for.
Oh gosh.
And all of that adds weight.
Quite technically.
Yeah, but so is 10 pounds going to actually make a measurable difference?
It will make, I mean, technically a measurable difference, but it all adds up. It's an incremental thing.
We're just talking about little things here.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get stressed out about your sunflower seeds. You can keep them.
Yes, you should. You should, because you have to enjoy the travel.
Yes.
But if you take that
journey.
extra set of tools in case you break down, that might be more measurable.
So take the tools.
So what's the heaviest
But
thing
don't
you
take
carry?
backup tools to your tools.
What's the big heaviest thing you carry, Clint?
Me. By far. And after that is
All right, we can't leave you at home, okay?
After that's probably my son's head. It's
He
crazy.
does have a big head.
Totally true.
How does
that
he even
noggin,
balance?
that
He
dome
falls a
piece?
lot.
It's so big.
Okay. Talking about Everett's head, let's talk about aerodynamic drag. That's the next thing, because things like on a lot of these trucks, we like to personalize our vehicles and our trailers, and things that we add, like an upgraded bumper.
Roof racks, towing mirrors.
Yes, all those things add drag. And particularly, and this is not like it when you're talking about weight, where the biggest thing is when you're getting it going. Well, drag,
like wind resistance.
Yeah, wind resistance
literally
only increases the faster you go.
Well,
And-
everybody wants to add a roof rack and then put your kayaks up there.
Well, even like those big
bikes up there or more stuff.
What do you call those big lights? Like boondockers or overlanders use?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a technical name, but those big spotlights and things like that.
Boondocking lights, yeah.
Those rack lights that go on top and
Steps,
everywhere.
anything hanging off.
Yeah.
I'm doing flappy arms.
Or if you
Y'all can't see it.
if you upgrade
They're
your
flying.
antenna to like a big CB radio thing, and then you put a big foxtail on the end of it because it's cool.
Because that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you drive with big flags, I don't know anyone who would do that. But if you drive with big old flags,
I could introduce you to some.
those definitely. I mean, the flags work because of drag. That's how they.
That's how flags work.
That's how flags work. So
Flag drag.
So there you go. And then obviously the dimensions, the shape of your trailer. It's draggy. You know, you two have more teardroppy style trailers. They pull through the air better than mine. Now, you have a beautiful front windshield on both of yours. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit of an air dam, but not to the degree of my flat wall front.
right.
We have the Intech forward facing
Forward tilt design.
forward tilt design.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a name they've put on it and I always
So the
struggle with it.
front, the roof of it, the front of it is lower. So the wind does go, like it starts here and goes.
Right. So it has like,
it
they
does
call
have
it like
some.
the eyebrow or
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm like, it's so hard to do this and explain it. But yeah,
So this has been an ongoing conversation at my house because I get this. Hear me out. When we were looking at trucks, I told Laura, for reducing aerodynamic drag on the trailer, it would make sense if we put a truck bed cap over it, because the flow of the air coming off the truck
that makes sense.
would
Goes
lead-
down.
Do you remember, maybe you don't, it's been a long time, but all the trucks had the big air dams. The
Yes.
semis had them on
Yes.
top of the cabs so that it would go up and over instead of straight back. And
Right. And just hit that
swirl
flat
around.
surface.
Yeah.
So I told Laura that, and I said, I grew up with those on my parents' truck.
Oh, but people, it's kind of grandpa-ish.
There's
They're
the issue.
dated
It's the look.
looking,
Yeah.
but can you think about just, I don't know, the convenience of having things, you can throw them in the back of your truck
Lock
and
it.
they're not going to get stolen and they're not going to get weathered. Like
But-
you don't have to worry about things in the back of your truck.
But as humans, we all think about the what ifs. What if you want to carry a load of dirt? It's going to make it a whole lot harder.
Right.
And taking them on and off is not feasible.
Not so easy. Yeah.
No.
And I've done
Really?
it. It's not so. No, they're kind of gangly, and some of them are heavy.
And they're heavy, and you've
know.
got tape that seals it onto the bed, and you've got
A
clamps
gasket of
that
sort.
hold it. Yeah. So,
It's a process.
yeah.
So we're going to probably opt for just a standard tonneau cover.
Oh, the flat covers
Yeah.
that
Tonneau cover.
those are cool.
Because what I don't have in my truck is trunk space. But if you put a tonneau cover, it's a trunk.
Yeah. And you can get the roll-up ones and all
Right,
kinds of cool
right.
stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of awesome things out there.
But here's the deal: it's going to add weight, which will affect gas mileage. It might decrease drag a little bit, but not to the extent that having something that would raise the air flow over
The same
trailer.
height as your cab.
So it's fine. But that's just one of those things. Aerodynamic drag. Next thing would be something like
Tires.
your tires.
You know, this is something that everybody can do. And I think it makes a much bigger difference than we realize.
Yeah.
So everybody can take care of their tires, be sure they're inflated correctly.
On your tow vehicle and your trailer.
And your spare, folks. Your spare too, please. Be safe.
But it's so easy. I think this is one of the things you have to have the right gear
The
for.
more you know.
Oh, infomercial.
Sorry. All right. Keep going. So what about tires?
Well, so there's several things involved here. Inflation is number one. A properly inflated tire, not underinflated, rolls better because it doesn't
Inflated properly?
Yeah, it doesn't have the friction and resistance to work against.
But it makes your tire last longer too.
Less
Absolutely.
tire surface hitting the road.
Yes.
Yeah. Appropriate tire.
I
surface
understand
hitting
basic
the road.
science.
Yeah, but here's the thing, okay? Are we going to really pull into a gas station to check them? No.
No, we all have modern vehicles that tell us on our dash in front of us.
Yeah, check it before your
maybe
trip.
for your tires, but you know, if it's on your trailer, you gotta have some stuff.
Just get a TPMS system. We sell them here.
What's a TPMS system? Tire pressure monitors. Management monitor system.
Yeah. And it can be an app on your phone. And all you do is you take off the valve stem cap and you put on this little thing and it Bluetooths information to your phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's pretty cool. They're a no-brainer.
What about those silver thingies
no
that you put
skill.
on and then it pops out? Because that's what I still use.
Okay.
Is that not a thing?
They were fantastic, beautiful for their time, but they are not as accurate as a digital.
Okay. So throw that out, get a TPMS.
Well, I carry a digital. I have a digital tire pressure.
So you check
thing.
yours manually.
Yeah, it's even on the family calendar.
Shut up. Are you serious?
But that's because of previous vehicles that we had. Now our vehicles tell us. So
Okay, so with your trailer, what happens if you go out there with your little digital checker and it says your tire's low?
well,
Blow into it.
yeah.
You take the tire.
Pull out the old bike tire pump and get after it.
No.
Yeah, it works. Totally works.
Oh, so it's a little 12-volt.
No,
No,
a pump.
like you're gonna blow out some dynamite.
Really?
Dynamite.
Yes.
It-
Okay. But
Really? Tire pump?
we both have little kids. It's really great
Then use a 12
exercise.
volt. Use a 12 volt. I have one of those in each of my vehicles too.
Okay.
Sometimes I just want to do it the fun way.
That's right. With one of those foot pumps.
I want to remember what it was like to walk uphill in the snow
I will tell you.
barefoot both ways.
I'll tell you, I
To
have
school.
a 12 volt pump in my wife's car, and I can pump a tire up faster with a bike pump.
Well, I don't think I could.
Yeah, I do just let my weight do the work for me, and that's a different scenario between you,
You
and
just sit on it and stand up.
So other than checking the tire inflation, larger wheels and all that, once they're at speed, rolling speed, highway speed, and just going, they're fairly efficient, but they are not. Smaller wheels are sometimes more efficient in general overall driving. That's one reason why these small economy cars typically have these really, like 13-inch, 14-inch tires. And another thing is, the more a wheel weighs, and you're thinking it's not pushing forward through the air, it's just spinning it, it's still more weight.
The inertia to
Yeah,
get it
that
going.
makes sense.
Right.
So there's that. And knobby treads are also less efficient.
Like off-road type tires.
Yeah,
So
like
getting
what I have on my trailer.
and what I have on my trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, mine aren't as knobby.
No, mine are way more snobby.
Yeah, she's got no knobs. I got a little knobs. You got big knobs. We can't say that. Please cut that out.
I'm not cutting it, but to everyone listening, that was awkward for us too.
Knobby tires.
Let's move away from tires at this point. All right. So the next thing is a human factor, how we drive. And I think that this is a concept that everyone's going to agree with. If you accelerate hard, you're just wasting
My
It's like those-
biggest pet peeve, I swear, with driving. Yeah.
Well, it's
Do you hate it when you do it?
No.
Or you hate it when others do
I
it?
don't do it.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah. Lindsay drives like an old lady. I do not. What's wrong with that?
You have a Mazda Miata with the top down?
you scared the crap out of me when
She
I
has
was
a
learning
Kia
how
Soul.
to drive, and I've never, ever gotten over it.
I did. Lindsay was scared to learn to drive.
I did. I was.
And so
I am.
it took a while to get her started with that. So
She had
And I
it.
still slowly accelerate.
She had inertia that she
Yeah.
had. Well, she also has one of the most documented cases of motion sickness. And
Blech.
and up till getting behind the wheel, that was her experience with rolling in a
That's true.
vehicle.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we're unpacking so much right now.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
Let's
do we
let's
Is
talk
this
about
good? Is
do
this
we
good?
add in that she is very easily distracted, which was my biggest worry. So that's why I said, you know what? If you hit somebody,
Oh,
if you hit somebody or something, it's really bad. So
a good way to tee her up for success.
this is what could happen. And I said that a lot just because I wanted her to be scared.
And then she would just scream randomly as she was teaching me how to drive.
Well, because you were the one who would look
all
down to
parents do
change the
that?
radio. You would be the one who would try to pick something up off the floorboard.
My first
So
car
I tried
had
to avoid
the
it.
CD player was in the trunk. It
Yeah.
was my mom's favorite part.
CD changer cassettes. Yes.
I had to pull over to
Oh.
a gas station and change the CD.
But it was a very cool car.
It was.
I
I
just
loved
tried to
it.
keep you
What
safe.
was it?
It was a Volvo S40.
Yeah, those are good cars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And safe
It was
because you have a
red.
distracted driver.
Yeah.
exactly.
I loved it. Anyway, okay, let's refocus.
Okay, so back
laser
to
focus.
driving habits. Acceleration aside, overall speed really when towing. I have watched this. I've kind of experimented with it. I have been that guy towing a trailer at 70, 75, 80, just to see.
Dun,
you know?
dun, dun.
Yeah, dun, dun, dun. And I will tell you, once you get past 55, you will notice efficiency going down.
Huge
Yeah.
drop.
Huge. It gets ridiculous. And that's largely aerodynamic drag causing that.
Well,
at that
here's
point.
where we will see the drop in fuel economy is that Richard is a driver that is of the mindset that if I'm behind a truck, he's got to be going too slow. So I need to get past him.
Well, he's an old truck driver.
Yes, he is. He still has truck driver mentality. So he's all about passing whoever
Yeah.
is in front of you. So especially on tight roads, you pull over and you slam it to get past them quickly
Yeah.
so you can scoot
So
back
I'm
over.
not sure if
And
it's just
gosh,
a
it's
male
gotta kill
thing
ya.
or not. It may be just a male thing, but we literally see point values on hovering above vehicles that we can pass, and we're trying to rack up points as we go down the road.
So I don't want to be behind this guy.
when you talk about
Yeah.
drafting, is that drafting?
no.
No, drafting.
don't know what
do
drafting
this.
is.
Don't do this. This is something that you'll see in motorsports, where what you do is you get really close, like inches close to the bumper of the vehicle in front of you, and you fall into their slipstream, so you have less drag.
Because the wind. Okay, I'm visualizing.
They're
this.
already disturbing the air. You get into that slipstream and you have less drag. Your efficiency goes way up.
But you have to be really close to them.
Yeah. Now this is I'm going to do it, y'all. This is an aside that's kind of exciting about all these AI systems that are being developed for self-driving cars is when that I don't feel safe with it yet. Nowhere near safe with it yet. But when we get to the point where we can trust it and all that, they're going to have these cars driving more like a train, and everything's going to be way more efficient because they're going to be drafting.
Because they can all talk to each other.
That's right.
Well, they already have the system where your car slams on the brakes if it gets too close to something. So
That's
they can
exciting,
gauge
by
that.
the way. When that happens, it's
Yeah,
really exciting.
it is. It has happened to me only once, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do? Oh, I get it now."
Yeah.
I'm not used to that, so.
Yeah.
But if it keeps you safer, and this reminds me of that commercial that I see 1,000 times that I still watch. Okay, advertising that works. With that French singer, it's an Allstate commercial where they have all this stuff on top of the cars.
Yeah. And it
they're
never falls off.
driving so safe
Yeah.
and slowly. The fishbowl, the little
The
fuzzy
coffee.
slippers,
Yeah.
all of that.
The baby basket.
Yeah. So
What?
I don't know if that's in the commercial.
he's making that up. I haven't seen that, but
I saw that on Jackass.
yeah. I don't think that's the same.
No? Okay.
No. However, that would, driving like that, it gets you better insurance, but it also
Gets you nowhere.
saves your gas mileage.
Oh.
But who drives like that?
It gets you 0 points.
Drives like that.
Yeah.
On the road.
Whose fuzzy slippers
Yeah.
would even get out of the driveway on top of your car?
right.
Really?
Right.
All right.
Really?
Okay, one last thing in this human input thing is route selection.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's massive because if you plan your trip to where you can avoid things that are going to cause you to slow down, speed up,
So what would those be?
traffic, cities, and things.
Traffic.
If you can avoid those and not
Hills.
extend too much
The
to
more
hills, makes a difference.
If you start
Elevation.
and stop a lot, and stop, like you're,
Yeah, changes in elevation, that's huge. And people who do massive cross-country trips, they know this, and they actually plan their routes for more gradual, changes and things like that.
So speaking of changes in elevation, that kind of goes into the next portion, which is environmental issues.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even just something like what temperature it is outside, the altitude, like you were talking about, the humidity. How does humidity play a role in gas mileage?
Yeah. So you're working with largely internal combustion engines, and they have a few things that affect their efficiency. And you can think about it. How well are they breathing? And are they getting enough oxygen? Okay. So typically, as long as the humidity doesn't get too high, cooler temperatures condenses the air, which means more air is coming into the combustion chamber, which means it's more efficient and more powerful combustion. Okay. Cooler temperatures, better efficiency.
And that's good to know. But the reality is, who's going to wake up and say, all right, humidity's a little high today, not a good travel day?
Nobody.
Hopefully nobody, 'cause that'd be weird.
But this is another thing where I'm fine with it if I understand it.
Yeah. I think
I'm not going to change it. I don't have to change it.
Okay.
I think if all of these things we've talked about so far were all working against you on the same travel day, you would notice it. Otherwise, you probably won't.
Yeah, just zoom out a little bit and realize that you're dealing with an
If you're
equation.
doing all the things wrong.
I do notice if there's like a headwind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that can change 2 or 3 miles per gallon
Easy.
instantly.
Easy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, if you're driving into a headwind. But if you're going through like Raton Pass, how do you not
Yeah.
have a headwind when you're going that direction?
But this
Drive
helps you to
backwards.
not be frustrated.
Drive backwards?
Yes.
Yeah. This helps you to not be frustrated when it's happening to you because you understand it. You're like, I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Is that how it
We're
works?
not
I
going to
don't
make
get-
it to Colorado Springs without a gas station like we usually do because
Yeah.
we have a big headwind.
This
Well,
is.
you should have got the bigger gas tank like I did.
You're right.
Or take the knobs out of your tires.
Yeah. and when you're headed that way.
Or dump out your sunflower seeds, right?
Yes.
Yes. But
We
don't leave
might
that
make
window down
it.
too long.
Just start throwing sunflower seeds out the window.
Or your spit cup.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
So also turn off your air conditioner. It drags down your engine.
Oh, good
it does
point.
actually. I'm kind of a stickler about that in my car when I'm not towing.
That's how I used to put my. That's how I used to.
I roll the windows
Now
down.
that makes sense.
I do not turn the AC on into my car unless it's necessary.
There was an episode of Mythbusters where they
poor
tested
kids.
it. They ran a car around with the air conditioner
Really?
blasting, and they ran a car around with the windows down. And the car with the windows down, I believe we'll have to check this. I believe the windows down car actually was more efficient. Because even with all the drag, it introduces drag, but it doesn't pull down the power
But
of the
your
engine.
car's not working so hard.
Engine-wise.
Yeah.
Right. It's still.
I guess
it's
in my
work-
mind that just made
Yeah,
sense.
it's working a little harder because there's more drag introduced with open windows, but it's not as much as turning on the air
well,
conditioner.
I only open one window so that everybody's ears go.
Oh, I hate that.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I will get out of the car
Yeah.
at 60 miles an hour with that.
can't be
I
out.
cannot do it. It is just shoot me now.
Yeah, and if you're going to the mountains, elevation means decreased oxygen, means
That
you
makes
lose in
sense.
efficiency.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me.
All right, and the last thing section is vehicle maintenance. Obviously, like taking care of your vehicle is going to get you better gas mileage. Hopefully, we all know this.
Yeah.
But things like oil changes, air filters. What is ignition timing?
So there are ways to optimize the performance of your car. That's why a lot of modern cars have modes. You know, you have like
Oh, yeah, like eco
track
boost mode,
eco
and
mode,
yeah,
and things like that. So that's just changing
Towing mode.
Precisely. So you can set your vehicle up that way, and it's a computer program going on, and it's adjusting the airflow into the engine, is adjusting how much fuel is sprayed through the injectors into the engine and all that. So all that matters. Ignition timing is part of that equation. And so that can be adjusted. Now, a lot of people are just doing it by going to a tuner or buying a tuner and plugging it into their truck. It's just a thing.
So if I just take my car in to the dealership for a tune-up, or not necessarily, do they even do tune-ups anymore? If I take it in for an oil change, because that's the maintenance, and they just check everything and be sure everything's working good. Do they check all that? Is that something that a dealership would check on a maintenance call? You're going to have to ask
your auto mechanic that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you ask? Is my vehicle running efficiently?
Dear auto mechanic, check all the things.
Yeah.
Is the timing good? Is the
Sincerely,
best?
You can ask that. You can totally ask that.
What do you ask?
Yeah, you can totally ask that. Modern vehicles will tell you when there's something going on with the timing.
Well, so basically don't drive when you have a check engine light?
No.
Don't tow with a check engine light?
Drive safely to a place to kind of get that checked out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I would know if it's up to par.
We're talking again. Okay, so this brings us back to every little thing is a little thing until the whole equation's involved. This is typically just a little thing in modern vehicles.
Okay.
So
just do your maintenance and move forward.
Right.
Okay.
A typical RV, trailer, towing, truck camper, hauling person, I would leave it at factory, put it in tow haul mode when you're traveling. Other than that, I'd leave it alone and not worry about it.
Okay, here's a question. I know that there are people who say, I just put it in tow mode until I get on the highway, and then I take it out because I'm already moving, I'm at a steady pace. Is there an advantage to taking it out of tow mode if you're steadily driving 60 miles an hour?
I'm going to be honest here and say I don't know the answer. When I travel, I put it in tow haul mode and I just leave it there because I start thinking about other things.
We'll have to talk to an expert about this.
Well, I'm hauling things. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll leave it in tow mode. But
no, that
makes sense to me.
I don't know.
It makes sense to me. If you're on a long stretch of highway and you're already at speed and you don't anticipate having to accelerate and you're not going to be gaining elevation quickly, to me, that does make some sense, but I don't have a real answer.
So I guess my real question is, if I'm going 60 miles an hour towing a trailer and I'm at steady speed, flat ground, everything's just moving forward, is it using more gas with tow mode or not?
It very well could be. Because what it's oftentimes doing is going down to a lower gear, keeping it in a lower gear for more torque and all that. And lower gears at highway speed usually translates to more fuel consumption.
Okay, well, maybe somebody can comment and give us some insight on this.
Right.
Because that's a real question that anybody could do driving down the highway. That makes perfect sense. Is that
okay?
So I don't know.
I did play that game with my last truck in this trailer with the Intech Discover I'm pulling with my last weenie truck. I did play that game because I got so tired of hearing the RPMs. Just my truck was at 5,500 RPMs or higher consistently.
Wow.
And it's just screaming.
Well, because it was tired. It can't do that.
I felt so bad for that truck.
We've already had that discussion.
Yeah, it's
you
a
didn't
little
have
truck
a truck.
That couldn't. But I do miss it a little.
I wonder. Okay, I don't know the answer.
Here's with all that in mind, I want everyone to back out and just keep in mind,
don't stress.
If you're questioning what's going on, these are the things that are adding up. But big thing is, make sure you have a safe setup, that your travels are fun and well planned, and get out there, because this is just information for your head. You don't necessarily have to tweak any of this unless you want to.
Well, and if you're going to drive through the mountains, drive through the mountains. If that's the route you want to go, don't change that just for fuel mileage. Don't turn off your air conditioner if it's 95 degrees, if that keeps you comfortable.
Unless your name is Lindsay, and then turn it off.
That's right. Heat stroke, be damned.
102 is when I turn my AC on.
I mean, yeah, all these things, they're part of it. Maybe it's just a keep it in mind planning thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that was fun. I learned a lot. Well, I learned a little.
Yeah. Cool. And
yeah.
So thanks for bearing with me on some of these technical topics. I like them.
All right, before we go, let's mention one more time Truck Camper Magazine.
Yes.
We love them so much. They work so hard to compile these really cool stories about people traveling in truck campers, mods, reviews, specs on different truck campers, really anything you could think of. And again, even if you're not into truck campers, I mean, there's some cool just travel stories in there.
Just great rigs that do really amazing things. I mean, truck camper people are a special breed. So you will see all kinds of, just cool things that they're doing.
Sure.
And I love seeing that come through every
If you're
week.
new to RVing, so many of the appliances and equipment that you're going to find
It's
on a
all
truck
the
camper,
same.
it's pretty much the same.
Right.
And Truck Camper Magazine has really good information on those units and systems.
It just doesn't have wheels, but I mean,
Same as a trailer,
information
same as a
about
fifth wheel.
storage, traveling, good parks to stay at, etc.
Right.
So it's free to sign up for their magazine at truckcampermagazine.com. You can also find them on Facebook.
It's a digital magazine, so it comes to you, no pressure, but good stuff.
Yeah, check it out, truckcampermagazine.com.
All right, and let's move forward with reminding you that we have show notes and information at rvsmalltalk.com, so connect with us there. But if you really want to be part of the conversation or you want to start a conversation with us, go over to Facebook and go to the RV Small Talk community group. Just start, because there's no gatekeeper there. Just join and start talking.
Everyone is welcome. We love hearing about your stories. We love it when people post pictures, tell us about where you went, what you're traveling in, any questions that you have. Maybe we could post that question about putting your truck in towing mode in the community group. There's a lot of good feedback in there. So join the community and let's be
Have
a community.
some fun and be camping.
Yes.
Let's do the thing.
All right. So from all of us at the RV Small Talk podcast, thank you so much for joining us for this episode, and we will see you next time.